Hi everyone, my name is Mike, and I'm here to walk you through this video guide for the browser online game MyLands. Let's start with signing up on the server. There are two factions in MyLands, the light side and the dark side. Each side includes two races. Knights and elves belong to the light faction, demons and drow belong to the dark faction. The properties of each race are described in their respective windows. I would add that the dark faction might be better suited for fighting other players, but leveling up in the dark faction might be a bit harder for a newbie. So for this guide, I'll be choosing one of the light races, the knights. So, the game is loaded and we can see a small greeting message. Next, we are asked to name our capital, which I'm going to do now. Look, the counselor icon has moved to the front. The counselor will assign you all sorts of quests throughout the game. For each quest you complete, you will receive a reward. To view your current quests, just click the counselor, which I'm going to do right now. The very first quest is to build an alchemy lab. To do that, close the counselor, choose a cell, and click the construct button. The construction will only take a minute. Meanwhile, let's have a look around here. In the upper screen area, you can see your available resources. There are 5 main resources in MyLands: gold, wood, stone, crops, and iron. These resources are used to construct and upgrade buildings and to train troops. Gold is also used to pay your army's salaries. In the lower left corner, you can see a blinking envelope. This is your in-game mail. Let's click it and see what's inside. Since we've just started playing, there is only one incoming message, a welcome letter from the game administration, briefly describing the rules and the possibilities. To the right of the resources, you can see the city population. There are 300 people living in the city right now. 75 of them are currently working on the construction of the alchemy lab. Besides constructing buildings, your people can also be used as scientists in labs or workers in mining buildings. Training army and special units will also require available people. Meanwhile, our alchemy lab has been constructed. I click the counselor and claim my reward. Another 2 tasks have appeared. Producing buildings, which asks you to construct 5 new buildings, and First Science, where you need to research the construction science. Let's start with the science task. We open the science tree, choose the construction science, and set it up for researching. Now I'm going to construct the buildings. I need to build another lab, 2 woodcutter cabins where workers can produce wood, and also 2 stone quarries for mining stone. Note that, unlike the labs and woodcutter cabins, the stone quarries can only be built on the special cells with stone deposits. The buildings have been constructed. I accept the reward, and there are 2 more tasks waiting at the counselors. For the task, Trading Posts, we need to build 2 trading posts. These are used for mining gold. Just like the woodcutter cabins, they can be built anywhere in the city. No need for special cells. The letter task will teach you how to send messages to other players. To complete this quest, I am going to open the kingdom map and say hello to a neighbor. The kingdom map allows you to interact with other players and domains, but we will hardly need it at the beginning, so I will tell you more about it later. Let's go back to the city. Our trading post should be finished in about a minute. Meanwhile, let's turn our attention to the green bottle in the lower left corner. It shows us the current state of our science research without needing to open the science window. The green bottle means that right now, a science is being researched. Once the research is complete, the bottle turns red. Look, the scientists have finished researching the construction science. Let's claim our reward from the counselor. As you can see, a new quest called Archive has appeared. I'm going to start researching the next science, Market. Next, I'll enter the mailbox and move the welcome letter we received earlier to the archive. The number of messages you can store in your inbox is limited, and you can only keep letters for a limited time. Important letters can be moved to the archive, where they will be kept forever. Now that we have the construction science researched to level 1, we can construct 2 buildings at the same time. So let's start building the second trading post and claim the reward for the quest, Archive. While the construction continues, I'll tell you about another very important resource in the game, Black Gems. At the top right, you can see how many of them you have. Black Gems can easily be converted to real money, which can then be credited into the game or withdrawn to an e-wallet. You can buy Black Gems with money or acquire them in-game through different methods. I'll show you one of these methods in the second part of the video guide. Black Gems allow you to purchase various game services, scrolls, and artifacts. Moreover, they allow you to upgrade buildings to higher levels and complete certain quests the counselor gives you. But I'll tell you more about this as I develop my account and start using Black Gems. The trading post has been built. Let's claim our reward for it and proceed to the next quest. We need to build 2 cottages. The number of people who can live in the city is determined by the main building. But as your population grows, you will need to build cottages to increase the number of living spaces for your people. The cottages have been built, and the counselor is already itching to give me another task, upgrading the main building. Upgrading buildings increases their basic characteristics. For instance, upgrading the main building increases its storage capacity, living spaces, population growth, production rate for wood, and the number of cells available for building. A common city will have between 22 and 43 cells available for you to construct buildings. The capital will have between 22 and 51 cells, depending on the level of the main building. Now let's look at the grid of cells. We can see 22 cells inside the city wall, ready to be built upon. Cells 23 to 51 are located outside the city and will become available as soon as the main building is upgraded. There are also 4 villages with 8 cells each. We will be able to build on these cells once we've researched the respective science and opened the gate. Now, if we switch to level mode, we can have a look at the level of each of our buildings. Let's wait for the upgrade to finish. Look, the number of available cells in the city has increased. Let's claim our reward and check out our new quests. Complete 150 quests in a row. The objective of this quest is pretty straightforward, but we won't be completing it anytime soon. Once we do, we will receive a very useful artifact, the Helmet of Divine Wisdom. Let's return to this quest later. The quest, Market, cannot be completed without first researching the relevant science, which means there is only one quest left. Castle 3. To complete it, I need to once again upgrade my main building. Meanwhile, the next quest has appeared at the counselor's, Encyclopedia. To complete it, we just need to press the respective button at the top left of the screen. The encyclopedia serves as the main source of information on the game's mechanics. If you're a beginner, I recommend you check out the encyclopedia as you progress throughout the game. It will help you with most of the challenges you face. If the information provided there is not enough, you should check out the game forums. In the forum, players share their experiences. You will find a lot of valuable information about development strategies and battle tactics accumulated since the beginning of the game. Also in the forum, you can receive answers to your questions or even just chat with other players. We have completed the quests Encyclopedia and Forum. Now that's a handy reward. This additional population will be sent to improve the main building, saving us nearly 1.5 hours of time. We still have the Market quest pending, which requires the relevant science to be researched first. We still need to wait around 40 minutes for it to be finished. In the meantime, we can take a break from the game and deal with some daily chores. If you can, I highly recommend you spend this time studying the forum and game encyclopedia. It will help you avoid many mistakes newbies tend to make as they progress through the game. Hey, I'm back. As you can see, the Market science has finished being researched. Let's start by choosing the next science to research. At this point, I already have several sciences to choose from: fortification, merchantry, espionage, and carrier. I can also upgrade the Market science to the next level. I'm going to choose the carrier science, which will allow me to construct a building for training carriers. Tomorrow, we will commit our first robbery, and these units will come in very handy. As you can see, the counselor has a new quest for us, the Builders. This quest is actually a notification. It tells us that there are people available who may be used in the construction. The quest appeared and was completed when I received additional population as a reward for the forum quest and sent it to improve the main building. Now let's build a market. Only 11 out of 50 possible people have been sent to the construction site, so it will take 5 times longer to complete. Let's fix this by temporarily reassigning part of the builders from the main building to the market. The market in MyLands allows you to trade resources with other players. You can put available resources up for sale for a price in gold or buy whatever you need from other players. The market also allows you to instantly exchange resources without the involvement of other players. However, these exchanges are extremely unprofitable. After the market has been constructed, we receive a reward, as well as 2 consecutive quests, which will train us in how to put resources up for sale. For the first quest, Resources Sale, you will need to set up for sale 350 wood for the price of 5 gold, and then change the price to 4 gold. In the second quest, Lot Change, you will need to withdraw 50 wood from the lot you have just put up for sale. After completing this quest, do not forget to remove your lot from the market. As long as resources are for sale, they cannot be used for other purposes. To speed up the science research, I will build 2 additional alchemist labs by temporarily redirecting builders from the main building, just like we did before. While the building is in progress, I'll take a rest from the game. I'll see you in 1.5 hours. The main building has been improved to level 3, and once again the number of cells available for construction has been increased. I'm going to claim the reward and check out new quests at the counselors. World Fame is a very simple quest. I just need to share information about the game on my page in a social network. In return, I receive a cool artifact. I don't have a hero yet, so I'll save it up for later. The quest, Carrier, also requires training 100 carriers. This science is already being researched right now, so I will return to this quest later when the research is complete. Level 4 Castle. One more quest to improve the central building. There is also another quest, Invite New Rulers. To accomplish this quest, invite at least 5 friends to play this game, and wait till they upgrade their main buildings to the level 5. The reward is very useful. The research on one science that you are currently studying will be completed instantly. I don't need this reward now, so I will return to this quest later. Let's try to improve the main building. It looks like we don't have enough stone for that. We don't have any quests with stone as reward, so we need to wait until we mine it ourselves. The mining rate of all resources is displayed in the main building. We need another 200 stone for the upgrade, which means we have to wait more than 6 hours given the current number of stone quarries. In about 1.5 hours, we will have finished researching the carrier science, so there isn't much to do in the game until then. Research on the carrier science has been completed. Next, I'll study espionage, which we will need for our first robbery. I'm also starting the construction of the slave dwelling. As you can see, there still isn't enough stone to improve the city hall. But now I can use the market to trade gold for stone. I trade gold for 107 stone and start the upgrade of the main building. Constructing and upgrading buildings takes a long time, which is why I'll use one of the game services, finish all constructions or upgrades of all buildings in the domain. This service only costs 59 BG and will save us almost 24 hours. More importantly, we'll be able to start training carriers overnight. I have already credited my account with 1000 BG and can use them now. Now that the constructions and upgrades have been completed, I can claim my reward at the counselors. There are quite a few new tasks available, but I'll take a look at them tomorrow. For now, I want to start training carriers and building another alchemist lab. Then, I can go to bed. Some MyLands players think they have to spend all their time in the game and ignore everything else to reach a high level. That's absolutely wrong. Experienced players know that 2 hours a day are enough to reach the top place in a server. But if your goal is not the top rating, then you can spend as little time as you wish in the game. You just need to plan your time wisely and familiarize yourself with the game's mechanics. You can learn about these in the encyclopedia. Good morning. As you can see, research on the espionage science was completed 2 minutes ago, and during the night 24 carriers were trained. Our main goal for today is to commit a robbery. For that, we'll need to open the gate, having previously researched the required science, which is why I'm going to start researching the merchantry science and building a spy guild. The spy guild is ready and the science has been researched. Now let's research the next science, villages. Meanwhile, with the construction of the guild finished, another 4 tasks have appeared at the counselors to perform espionage at different access levels. I'll start training the spies for now while I explain a few things about these tasks. Espionage allows us to get information about the domains of other players, their buildings and armies, the spells they cast, and the progress of their science. However, players can defend themselves by using another special unit, counter spies. If there are counter spies in the targeted domain, then a battle between your spies and your opponent's counter spies will take place, and some of them may die. The level access is determined randomly based on the ratio of spies to counter spies. There are 4 access levels. The first level is the lowest one. It will only give you information about the number of buildings and their levels, the number of spells cast, the resources, and the state of the gate. However, you won't be able to see which buildings are in there or which spells have been cast. The second level allows you to see the types of buildings. The third level allows you to see the spells cast, the number of troops, except for those in the sanctuary or assistant slots, and also the science tree of the player. The fourth level allows you to see everything as if you were looking at your own domains. When there are no counter spies in the target domain, you'll have 4th level access. If there are, you'll have a lower level of access, or no access at all to the domain. Well, some time has passed. Our science research is not ready yet, but our spies are. To use espionage, I go to the kingdom map, choose the domain I'm interested in, and send in my spies. The espionage is instant and there are no counter spies, which is why I am given full access to the domain. Now I close the report and accept the reward at the counselors. Now I'll try to get lower level access. New players will probably have no counter spies, so I'll look for more experienced players with higher ranks. Then I'll try to spy on their domains. If I'm lucky, I'll get the required access level. The very first player I found turned out to have no counter spies, so I'll try again. As you can see, there are a lot of counter spies in this domain, so I didn't get access to the domain at all, and all my spies have died. Don't worry, I'll train some new ones and complete the espionage tasks later. The villages science has been researched. Before I get the gate science, I need to research another 3 sciences: fortifications, cache, and resurrection. Let's begin with the first one and start refilling the queue of carriers in the slave dwelling. In the meantime, I can leave the game for a little bit while the resources needed to upgrade the main building to level 5 are being produced. It looks like we're almost done here. I just need a few more resources. I can get the wood and stone that I need from the market. Once I do, I can start upgrading the central building to level 5. The 5th level is the highest one, and once I reach it, I'll be able to open the gate and construct buildings in other villages. As you can see, the upgrade will take nearly 1.5 days, so once again, I'll speed up the process by using the service Finish All Constructions or Upgrades of all buildings in the domain. The castle has been upgraded. The counselor has a new and very helpful task: Science Studying Acceleration in Alchemist Labs, which is rewarded with plus 300 science points per hour for a whole week. To complete the task, I have to use one more game service: Science Studying Acceleration in Alchemist Labs. This service accelerates the science research in all labs by 25% for a week and costs 39 BG. I activate the service and accept the reward for the completed task. Notice that the science speed rate has been increased substantially. The science fortifications will be researched in just 17 minutes. At that speed, it's not easy to keep track of the sciences being researched. To avoid downtime, I can use the queue of sciences, which allows me to queue any science. Switching from one to the next will happen automatically without me having to do anything. The science queue is one of the advantages of a premium account. In the game, there are 2 types of paid accounts: subscription and premium. From the point of view of advantages, they are identical, but the subscription allows you to withdraw any black gems you earn in the game to your e-wallet. Premium doesn't allow this. Upon registration, each player is given a 2-week promo period during which he needs to decide whether to play with a subscription or not. If the subscription is not activated during this period, the possibility of withdrawing money from the server is lost forever. However, premium can be activated at any time. Subscription time can be purchased for 1 month and up to 1 year, and it costs 649 BG per month. Premium can only be purchased for 1 week and costs 99 BG. If you plan on staying in the game for a while, I recommend you go for a subscription. Purchasing a 6-month subscription will save you 194 BG compared to premium, and you will get the option to withdraw black gems from the game. As soon as I activate my subscription for a month, the counselor has a new task: Queue of Sciences. Let's complete it by queuing all available sciences and claim our reward. I will also build a merchant guild, which is useful for trading with other players and transporting resources to our future domains. Let's build another slave dwelling too. It will accelerate the training of carriers. Once the fortification science has been researched, the cache science is next in the queue to be researched, followed by the resurrection science. The counselor has a new quest, Resurrection of Defenders, which requires me to build a resurrector. I'll do this later. For now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about game mechanics. Building a resurrector allows you to save some of the troops who are killed while defending your castle. By having a resurrector in your domain, you'll be able to revive between 25 and 50% of your fallen defenders, depending on the level of the building. It's a very useful building, and I recommend you construct it in all of your cities. The resurrection science has been researched. The gate science is next, and we can add a few more sciences to the queue. I can now construct the resurrector building, which is what I'm going to do. We have finally researched the gate science, so let's open the gate and check out the new quests at the counselors. The gate quest requires us to open the gate in the capital, which is what I'm doing right now. As a reward, I'll get the assistance of the troops called Ancients, who will reliably protect the capital against attacks for the next 2 months. The quest Explorers is just an exploration of an area, but I'll tell you about that in the next part of the video guide. The Sanctuary quest has also appeared. It requires me to research the respective science. I'll tell about the Sanctuary at the beginning of the next part of this guide. For now, I'll focus on the Robbery quest, where you need to commit a successful robbery. Let's go to the Kingdom map and choose a suitable target for our robbery. In the game, there are several types of combat missions. The first three we are going to discuss are robbery, slave capture, and building destruction. Robbery involves plundering the resources in the domains of other players. However, not all resources are plundered. Only half of those resources that are currently not in the cache. 90% of the resources are plundered from the ruins, the outer monster domains. Also, the amount of resources captured depends on the number of carriers. One knight's carrier can carry 100 units of a resource, while the carriers of other races can only carry 50 units. If the attacking player is in a clan, 10% of the resources looted goes to the clan warehouse. Slave capture is similar to a robbery, but instead of resources, free population is seized. Just like with resources, only half of the population can be captured. Building destruction allows you to destroy buildings in the villages and outer domains of other players and monsters. You can only destroy one type of building per mission. The type of building is selected in the starting window of the mission. I'll explain these mechanics in further detail a bit later. Now, it's time to commit our first robbery. Let's find a suitable target for our robbery. We will approach any new player who has opened the gates and has no defensive buildings. Such players can easily be identified by the Esquire title and a central building lower than level 5. If the gate is closed, we won't be able to send missions to this domain. If there are defensive buildings, we will suffer losses. Here is a suitable target. We initiate a mission, choose the troops to deploy, in this case 36 carriers who will plunder 3,600 units of resources. Wait until the gate in our capital is open and send our troops on their mission. Traveling to the destination will take about 35 minutes. And the same goes for coming back. Our robbery has been successful, and we've received a report about it in the mail. So, we've spent a little more than 30 minutes in the game and have already reached our first goal, to attack another player. The first part of this video guide is complete. In the upcoming parts, I'll show you how to progress from your first robbery to the rank of captain. And eventually, we will achieve the rank of suzerain. Thank you all for watching. See you!